In nature, every encounter can change in seconds when distance and timing are no longer controlled. From wide grasslands to the edge of still water, pressure is built step by step, where each species leverages instinct and herd structure to gain an advantage. And in those brief moments, the outcome depends not on individual strength, but on how rhythm and distance are maintained. In humid forest and riverside environments, jaguars maintain their predatory instincts with a high concentration of close-range movement. Their strong jaws and necks allow them to effectively hold onto their target for short periods. They move along waterways and dense thickets, utilizing the terrain to control space, thus forming overlapping zones. Initially, neither rushes forward but moves in a gentle circle, keeping their eyes on their opponent and constantly assessing their reaction. The distance is narrowed very slowly, each individual trying to maintain position without revealing obvious weaknesses. When the moment opens, one accelerates and closes in, making the space even more cramped. Both use their front legs to push and find points of contact, while applying pressure to the shoulders and neck to disrupt balance. After several collisions, one individual retreats slightly and reduces pressure, shifting to a defensive stance. The remaining individual advances but does not pursue too far, maintaining control of the area based on the advantage just created. The confrontation ends when one animal leaves the area before serious injury occurs. There is no prolonged action, but rather an adjustment of pressure to force the opponent to retreat in a safer direction. In nature, avoiding injury is just as important as gaining an advantage at a moment, and the decision to stop is often the last factor. In open grasslands, buffalo exhibit a strong protective instinct, rarely fleeing alone when threatened. They maintain dense herd formations, keeping close together to form a unified, impenetrable mass. This coordination ensures each individual remains within the herd's support range, even as pressure builds and small gaps appear. From close range, the lion lowers its body and approaches from a less conspicuous direction. When the time is right, one jumps onto the buffalo's back to disorient it, while others cling to its hips and neck to maintain pressure. The buffalo reacts by kicking forcefully with its hind legs, shaking its body, and attempting to lunge towards the herd to escape control. But the safe distance is no longer maintained. The pressure doesn't stop. The lion uses its stamina and weight to slow its target down over time. The buffalo herd returned to the rescue, charging forward and forcing the lion to disperse for a few seconds, creating an escape opportunity. But when the target individual could no longer maintain its reaction, the herd retreated, and the lion regained control of the situation, gradually shifting the outcome in their favor. There is no single decisive moment, but rather a continuous series of changes leading to the result. The buffalo herd's coordination created an opportunity for a reversal, but the lion's sustained pressure gradually altered the outcome. In a natural environment, Controlling the rhythm and timing is always more important than a single reaction. During food sharing, hyenas use vocalizations to coordinate actions and maintain group cohesion. They coordinate in a pincer movement, clearly defining roles between chasing and blocking to control space. However, when focused on food, the safe distance between individuals begins to shrink, creating a temporary vulnerability. From the shadows, the lion keeps its body low and approaches without making a clear signal. When close enough, the lion accelerates suddenly and subdues an individual at the edge, creating continuous pressure in the confined space. The remaining hyenas react quickly, signaling, moving around, and creating interference to draw their comrades out of danger. The initial pressure is tilted toward the lion, but with multiple approaches simultaneously, the space begins to shrink in reverse. The hyena formation gradually closes, maintaining distance and forcing the lion to lose its initial advantage. The confrontation ends when the injured individual is pulled away, and the lion doesn't pursue further. No outcome is decided in a single moment, but rather by a continuous shift in position and pressure. When an individual is separated, the pack can adjust to restore structure and reverse the situation. In nature, the ability to maintain cohesion and react synchronously can balance out power imbalances among individuals. In their pack structure, wild dogs don't act alone, but always react based on shared signals. They demonstrate intelligence in choosing timing and coordinating according to the signal rhythm instead of acting randomly. When young individuals move close together during their activities, the coordination rhythm is temporarily disrupted, creating a point of contact. From a low, hidden corner, the lion keeps its body close and monitors the movement around the den. When the distance is short enough, the lion accelerates suddenly and penetrates the central area, separating the individuals. Unable to react in time, the pack scatters in many directions, and a young individual is trapped in a narrow space. The pressure increases rapidly with the appearance of more lions around. Narrowing the escape area, wild dogs can no longer maintain coordinated signals and are forced to prioritize movement to avoid being cornered. The confrontation ends when the lion controls the den area, and the wild dog retreats to preserve its forces. There isn't a single decisive moment, but rather a disruption of the coordinated rhythm according to the signal. When timing is lost and distance is shortened too quickly, the herd's advantage diminishes significantly. In nature, control of timing and space often determines the final outcome. In areas with an open field of vision, impalas maintain a heightened vigilance for unusual movements and sounds. When threatened, they activate a zigzag run to disrupt predator orientation while simultaneously observing their surroundings as they graze. This distraction allows for early detection, but can also create a momentary gap as distance shortens. From their hiding place, leopards keep their bodies close to the ground and remain almost motionless, observing the herd's movements. When an impala approaches the edge of the formation, the leopard springs up quickly and approaches rapidly. The short distance reduces reaction time, preventing the zigzag trajectory from fully forming, thus diminishing their defensive advantage. The confrontation ends when the impala fails to maintain its rhythm of changing direction and is controlled at close range. Leopards maintain their advantage through patience, precise distance, and timing. In nature, a small deviation in observation can translate into noticeable results when the reaction rhythm is no longer maintained. Within their vast territories, lions maintain a memory of familiar prey movement routes and key approach points. They tend to patrol continuously to control the area, maintaining a stable presence over time. This organizational structure allows lions to quickly recognize subtle changes in territory, and any unusual intrusion is immediately detected. During their movement, the leopard inadvertently enters a controlled area without detecting any clear warning signals. From a close distance, the lion keeps its body low and approaches in a way that blocks the leopard's escape route. As the distance shortens, the lion accelerates and closes in, forcing the leopard to react in a confined space. The leopard attempts to escape the controlled area by changing direction and seeking a retreat to higher ground. However, the pressure from the lion prevents the distance from widening enough to reverse the situation. The confrontation ends when the leopard is forced to leave the area, while the lion maintains control of the territory. There is no prolonged conflict, but rather a short-term re-establishment of boundaries. When an individual encroaches on a controlled territory, the advantage usually goes to the one who understands the space. In nature, understanding territory and maintaining a stable presence are decisive factors in determining outcomes. The impala's survival depends on its ability to regulate its speed and the spread of its response within the pack. When an individual reacts, the entire pack quickly spreads the signal and moves away from the area. However, getting too close to the water's edge suddenly shortens the safe distance, creating a direct risk. Just below the water's surface, the crocodile keeps its body almost invisible and waits for the right moment. When an impala enters close range, the crocodile lunges forward in a short burst and creates immediate pressure, forcing the prey to thrash violently and try to retreat to shore. The pack's response begins to form, and the target escapes the danger zone after a short effort. But once it leaves the water's edge, the impala can no longer maintain a steady pace. Another threat emerges from the vicinity, taking advantage of its weakened state to approach at close range. The confrontation ended when a series of consecutive pressures eroded the initial advantage, demonstrating that the outcome can change even when things seem secure. In every encounter, the outcome doesn't come from a single action, but from how each species controls its rhythm and distance. As pressure shifts by the second, advantage can also shift from one side to the other without clear warning. And in nature, the ability to maintain stability in short moments is ultimately the deciding factor. In sparsely vegetated areas and harsh climates, the honey badger consistently emerges as the dominant individual. It doesn't need superior speed or size to gain an advantage. The difference lies in its ability to maintain this advantage throughout the confrontation. The honey badger doesn't need to gain dominance immediately, but rather to sustain it over time. On the dry grasslands, the honey badger moves with a slow but steady pace. Its body, weighing only about 35 pounds, is enough to make other species wary. It doesn't rely on speed, but survives through endurance and resilience beyond limits. Its thick, loose skin reduces the impact of resistance, while its strong forelimbs and long claws allow it to quickly dig through the soil to reveal prey hidden beneath. Its strong jaws handle a variety of food sources, and in harsh environments, it continues its search without stopping. The difference lies in its reaction. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't retreat. It always tries and keeps moving forward. In nature, the survivor is often the most persistent. In the open space, the pack of wild dogs moves at a steady pace, each weighing approximately 40 to 55 pounds, maintaining a reasonable distance and constantly adjusting their position. They approach their prey with close coordination, maintaining high speed and clearly dividing roles throughout the hunt. Upon spotting the honey badger, the pack begins to assess its reaction. Several individuals approach to exert pressure, while others maintain distance and wait for the opportune moment. They don't attack continuously, but repeat short approaches to find weaknesses. The honey badger stands firm. It turns in each direction of movement, always keeping its opponent in front and leaving no gap behind. There are no superfluous actions, only constant adjustments to avoid being surrounded. After several attempts, the pack of dogs finds no clear opportunity. They reduce the frequency of their approaches and gradually withdraw from the area. The honey badger continues to move at a steady pace. In nature, a group of predators may stop when the risks outweigh the benefits. In the open space, a reptile predator appears, its body approximately 5 to 7 feet long, moving low to the ground and always keeping its head straight forward. The monitor lizard can accelerate quickly over short distances, enough to close in before its opponent can react. Thanks to its agility and high adaptability, it can confront many prey and survive in various harsh environments. When the honey badger approaches, the monitor lizard begins to react. When the distance is close enough, it uses its jaws to hold on and try to control the opponent. Each counterattack aims to push the opponent out of a favorable position. The honey badger does not retreat. It approaches at a low angle, avoiding the mouth area and focusing on the tail, the less dangerous area. It maintains constant pressure, advancing and then retreating slightly, repeating this many times. The events show that both rely on clear tactics. The monitor lizard controls with its tail and jaws, while the honey badger breaks the distance and maintains pressure. In the open, the lion's presence quickly alters the surrounding rhythm. This predator relies on observation, stealthy approach, and explosive bursts of speed at short distances. With a body weight exceeding 400 pounds and powerful thrust from its hind legs, it controls the situation through timing and pressure. When facing a small honey badger, the lion doesn't rush to attack. It maintains distance, constantly adjusting its position and waiting for the right moment. Its hunting instinct forces it to calculate, as every wrong decision can waste unnecessary energy. The honey badger continues to advance. It doesn't change direction, doesn't slow down, and constantly rotates to keep its opponent under control. This stability creates counter pressure, forcing the lion to turn and flee. The situation changes. The lion doesn't continue to approach. It stops to avoid further energy expenditure and reduce the risk of injury. The honey badger maintains its position and doesn't retreat. In nature, a confrontation can end when one side no longer has a clear advantage. A pack of predators appears. Hyenas possessing a bite force of nearly 1,100 pounds per square inch. They emit a constant roar and move in circles to create pressure from the outset. Instead of attacking immediately, they maintain distance and force the target to react repeatedly. The pressure gradually increases. One hyena approaches, then retreats, then another takes its place. This approach is repeated several times to test the target's reaction and find weaknesses. When the distance is close enough, they are ready to take control. The honey badger maintains its position, but must react constantly. It turns in every direction, keeping its rear hidden and focusing on the nearest individual. When the distance becomes dangerous, it actively breaks through the approach and retreats immediately, then returns to a more advantageous position. After several attempts to get close, the hyena pack fails to establish clear control. The pressure gradually decreases, and they leave the area. In nature, you don't need to win. Simply not being controlled is enough to survive. Amidst the low grass, a venomous snake lies motionless, its body approximately 4 to 6 feet long, its head slightly raised to track its target. It senses vibrations acutely and maintains precise distance. Its attack speed can reach approximately 0.3 seconds, with enough reach to strike its target before it can react. The venom is delivered through 2 hollow fangs, potent enough to quickly affect the prey's body. When the honey badger enters the danger zone, the snake immediately adjusts its head angle and delivers a swift bite. After each attack, it retreats to a safe position and is ready to repeat when the distance is suitable. The snake's hunting instinct focuses on precision and timing, not wasting energy on unnecessary blows. The honey badger continues to advance. It actively enters the danger zone, accepting the risk rather than completely avoiding the attack. Its body possesses a certain degree of venom resistance, allowing it to remain active after being affected. Through several attempts to approach, it controlled the distance and gained the upper hand. Ultimately, the honey badger was the one that held the initiative and ended the confrontation.
Here comes another one. Here comes another one.
In a predatory environment, the leopard is a solitary predator with high speed and powerful attacks, capable of quickly taking down prey weighing 70 to 150 pounds, keeping its body low and moving almost silently. It relies on its ability to camouflage itself, approach at close range, and deliver a precise pounce in a very short time. However, when encountering a honey badger, that advantage is no longer guaranteed. The honey badger approaches, stops, and then advances again. When the distance is close enough, it lunges in to gain control very quickly. After each approach, if it cannot maintain its position, it immediately stops to avoid risk. The honey badger reacts immediately when the distance is broken. It turns to keep its opponent in front, not allowing itself to be held for too long. When the leopard gets close, the honey badger counterattacks directly at the nearest point, then separates and returns to its control position. These reactions are short and continuous. After several attempts, the leopard lost its composure. It reduced its frequency of approaches and left the area. The honey badger continued to move at a steady pace. In nature, when control is lost, the hunt usually ends.
Here comes another one. Here comes
Through each confrontation, the honey badger's approach remains unchanged. Maintain position, sustain pressure, and avoid being controlled. Each opponent has its own tactics, but all must adjust when they don't have a clear advantage. The difference lies in the ability to maintain stability throughout the process. The honey badger doesn't need to finish quickly, but prolongs the fight until an opportunity arises.